on the eastern edge of NATO, specifically in Lithuania, where things are maybe more uncertain for them than any time in the last few decades. Of course, Russia is making credible threats to the security of Lithuania and the Baltics, but the US is indicating it as a less reliable ally than probably ever before in the last 3 decades. So it's an interesting time to be an American here, certainly. And for me, this is very personal. I am not only of Lithuanian descent, but I also worked in diplomacy in the US government, working closely with Lithuania and the other 2 Baltic countries. And so part of what I'm doing here is some ancestry research, but I'm also super interested in seeing how the locals are feeling about the US, if their relationship with Americans is changing. This is one of the most pro-US parts of Europe, I would say, normally. And let's see if that sentiment is continuing, if current changes in relationships are being seen as temporary or permanent, and basically how people in this country sandwiched between Russia and Belarus are handling this current time. Okay, I can't believe that. I was just filming the tower here in Lithuania and 2 jets went by. You can barely see them, but I'll put the clip in. And you know, I doubt they're US jets, but they could be NATO jets. And either way, that's interesting timing, and probably part of a effort to show force, show defense, show partnership for Lithuania. So I'm on my way now in Vilnius to an event where American and Lithuanian composers will be played at the Rotušės, the town hall, in honor of the US's 250th birthday. So I'm glad to see that there are US-centered events happening. So it's the day after that concert that I went to celebrating the US's 250th anniversary here in Vilnius, and I still have yet to see anything negative towards the US. I've even been like looking at graffiti, like, does any of this say you abandoned us, America? And so luckily I, on a personal level at least, going around talking to people, haven't gotten that feeling, even though literally just yesterday, the defense minister here said that there's a risk that Russia might start using captured Ukrainian drones against the Baltics, because that would make it harder to figure out who actually originated the attack, which seems super unsettling. This comes just, I don't know, 2 months after that drone scare that they had here, where everyone had to go and shelter in place. They got those scary warnings saying this is not a drill. But okay, I've talked to multiple people about that specifically, and the answer that I get is so funny. Almost all of them said some version. I mean, this is only a few individuals I'm talking to, but from different kind of like sectors of society, and they have all said something along the lines of, actually, that drone scare was really helpful because we learned a lot about what our vulnerabilities are, gives us a place to start in terms of improving our preparedness, our readiness, making sure everyone's like knows what they need to do, where they need to go to shelter. And then I went to a global leaders conference here in Lithuania, and political business leaders, they all got up and spoke and talked about, you know, trends going on in Lithuania, and the US was hardly mentioned at all. Maybe a little bit in a business context in terms of doing, trade, improving those kinds of relationships. But there's a new government here, the government was reshuffled, there's a new prime minister, and the foreign minister spoke at this conference, and he said nothing about kind of what their new strategy is after this new prime minister, or what their new strategy is, at all, how they're dealing with this current moment, what is going on with the US, right? Increasing concern about NATO in terms of, will NATO member states, especially the US, step up in an Article 5 situation? How are you going to all determine if it's an Article 5 situation at all? And then these, warnings about threats. Part of me thinks that they just they're still kind of trying to figure out their strategy, right? You put all your eggs in one basket, and that basket is kind of going over a country road, and you don't know how your basket is going to be at the end, right? But okay, the craziest part, in a really good way, is that Lithuanians do not seem super stressed. They're out and about, they're enjoying their summer, they're soaking up the sun, they're eating on patios, they're getting coffees. And from what I can understand of overhearing people, they're also not stressed and debating and worried about whether they should stock up on water or anything like that. It's very much a feeling of a normal summer here. But I do, from the people I talked to, they did kind of hint at the fact that, they don't think it's imminent, they don't think anything's happening tomorrow. So I got the feeling they're trying to enjoy this time now. You're gonna drink your premium but not overly priced coffee on the sidewalk with your friend. So, yeah, I only have a few more days here, but I've been super impressed with the outlook that people have, and really glad that they're not blaming this situation on the US, or at least not individual Americans. So it's my last day in Vilnius. I'm about to check out of my hotel. The only one thing I did see is I wish I took a picture of it, but it was a blue "Make Europe Great Again" hat. And I took that to mean that this person did not support the way that Trump was running America. Right, at the same time, this person also wants to see Europe do bigger and better things, right? This whole week, when I've been looking for signs of the changing relationship and changes in the way the Lithuanians might feel about the US, has given me hope that the relationship is going to continue, is going to weather this current landscape. But also, I think I've been realizing that I think it's a little bit of America centrism, right? Where I'm thinking that everybody like me is thinking about the US all the time and the US's relationship with Europe, and they're going about their day, they're getting on with their lives, and they are, pragmatic, and they're probably also worried about it, but they're not. Doesn't seem like anyone's letting that take over their lives, and it seems like there's still, for the most part, hope that the U.S. will continue to be a good ally in the future. So it was a good reminder to me that not everyone is just just reflecting on the U.S. at all times, even though the U.S. is in the news all the time, especially now. So yeah, it was a great week, and I'm just so glad to see that Americans are still appreciated here, and I think more Americans should come and see for themselves what a great place Lithuania is, and what a great partner we have here on the northeastern edge of Europe.